Welcome to your Ranting on Wrestling podcast.
This is a revolution.
Is the man Seth freaking Rollins? I am the baddest son of a bitch in this game. I am the sickest son of a bitch in this game.
What is going on, you guys? Vikram Prashar here. Welcome to the VP Show, and this is your Ranting on Wrestling episode for All Elite Wrestling All Out this Saturday night. Well, by the time you're seeing this, it is Saturday night. This is looking like a very, very good pay-per-view, and I'm very excited for it, but I do have a quick announcement to make. This could possibly be the last ever Ranting on Wrestling. And stay tuned about an hour or two after AEW All Out for my review, but that could also be my final pay-per-view review. Because I have some projects that I want to bring to this channel. I'm a professional wrestler in training. And I am one of the hosts along with Daniel of the Dropkick podcast. And this will always be a professional wrestling channel, but I just kind of want to move. I'm thinking soon enough I kind of want to stir this channel into the direction of its own content rather than content about content. And when I say content about content, I mean reviewing WWE shows, reviewing AEW shows, and reviewing New Japan shows, because those are the three promotions that I've been reviewing for, about 2 years now? See, I don't really want to give you guys an entire rant, but this channel was originally a WWE action figure channel, and as I grew older, I started doing some gaming, and then I still play video games, I just don't make videos about them. Then I started reviewing shows and predicting shows. And I would call this the Ranting on Wrestling podcast, even though it was only on YouTube. And then my buddy and I started the Dropkick podcast. But now as I'm becoming a pro wrestler, I'm a pro wrestler in training. My first match isn't going to be for a while. Probably about, if I had to guess, a year and a half, maybe 2 because of COVID. You don't know how long it's going to be till there's indie shows in my area. But I do have a very, very entertaining wrestling series coming out for you guys. That's going to be awesome, and I'm excited to present it to you guys. So, once again, this might be, you never know, in the future I could bring it back, but this is possibly the final Ranting on Wrestling episode. So, thank you guys so much. So, let's get things started. We're kicking things off with Britt Baker versus Big Swole on the buy-in in a tooth and nail match. Right off the bat, that's going to... Actually, I'm going to predict Big Swole because AEW... I don't think they're going to put Britt Baker over in this match because I feel like they want to have Big Swole go for the AEW Women's Championship. But I would book Britt Baker because I feel like... I know a lot of people would disagree here, but I've enjoyed her heel run. I feel like she's been pretty interesting as a heel, and I'd like to see that continue. So, I would book Britt Baker, but I predict Big Swole. The Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express. I would book the Young Bucks, but I predict Jurassic Express. I don't have a problem with Jurassic Express. It's just the Young Bucks. I feel like I just give them the wins. Because it's kind of like John Cena in a way, if this makes sense. Where if Cena returned, I would have him get some more wins because it should feel prestigious beating John Cena, just like it should feel prestigious defeating the Young Bucks. And I'm not saying, once again, I'll be happy if Jurassic Express defeats the Young Bucks, but it shouldn't be too often where we see the Young Bucks lose a match clean. So I would book the Young Bucks, but I do predict Jurassic Express. Next up, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara in a Broken Rules match. This is going to be very entertaining. This feud has been one of my favorites of AEW, probably of entire 2020, to be honest. Because they were having good main event matches on Dynamite. And then we saw the incident of Sammy Guevara busting Matt Hardy open with a chair. But in my opinion, obviously it was a botch. But there's some botches that just make scenes better in wrestling. For example, Brock Lesnar, and I'm not saying like this feud is as big as Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Angle, but I am saying in the match at WrestleMania between Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle, when Brock Lesnar botched the shooting star press and hit his head, obviously we were praying Lesnar would be fine, just like we're praying Matt Hardy would be fine, but it brings intensity to the feud or match that's happening. So when Sammy Guevara busted open Matt Hardy by accident, that just made this feud feel more important. And a good thing AEW has done is they've wrenched on it. Just like how they did the same thing with Cody Rhodes and Shawn Spears with the chair shot. They took something that was real and they put it into the feud. And now it feels even more important. These guys have been brawling, putting each other through tables, having tables matches, hitting each other with chairs, attacking each other. This feels important. Now, it's a broken rules match, so I'm predicting Matt Hardy will win. I would personally book Sammy Guevara, but I do think Matt Hardy will win. I don't have much of an issue with Matt Hardy winning. I just think Sammy Guevara is on the rise. He's been getting a lot of wins under his belt, and I feel like this would propel him even more to win this feud with Matt Hardy. But I do predict Matt Hardy to defeat Sammy Guevara, and I think it'll be a very entertaining match. So I predict Matt Hardy, but I'd book Sammy Guevara. Next, we got the Dark Order versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, and the Natural Nightmares. Some people think Cody's coming back here. I don't think he is. I think he's taking some time off. I book and predict the Dark Order. I want Matt Cardona to have a very good showing in this match, look very good, but I book and predict the Dark Order to take this victory as they are propelling themselves up. Brody Lee, of course, the new TNT champion. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. They've got a good tag team record right now. Pretty decent. So I want them to stay on top. Matt Cardona needs to give a good showing here tonight, though. And they got me hyped for this match on their YouTube channel, because on the road to All Out, QT Marshall cut an amazing promo, dude. It was really good. Go check that out if you guys haven't. Go check it out. But yeah, my money's on the Dark Order, and I would book it that way as well. The 21-man Casino Battle Royal for an AEW Championship opportunity. Okay, guys. This is very unpredictable, because I don't think they signed anybody who's going to come in and win it. And some big names are Brian Cage, who's in it, Lance Archer. I could see it being Lance Archer if Jon Moxley retains, because then we get Lance Archer versus Jon Moxley 2 after Wrestle Kingdom 14 in New Japan. Moxley defeated Lance Archer. It would be interesting, man. It would be interesting. But who would I book to win this? I'm going to predict Lance Archer, but I would book Shawn Spears, and I'll tell you why. Last year at All Out, I'm a huge Cody Rhodes fan and a huge Shawn Spears fan, so the match was good. It's just I think Shawn Spears needed that win more than Cody Rhodes. And I feel like this kind of made Shawn Spears fall off a little bit, and I feel like he's one of the best wrestlers in the entire world, one of the most underrated of all time, and I feel like he deserves a world title match. I feel like he deserves a world championship reign. I'll just say it right now. And I honestly think winning this battle royal can give him momentum. Give him that momentum that he had last year. And I would love to see Shawn Spears win this battle royal. So I would book Shawn Spears to win the Casino Battle Royal, but I do predict it'll be Lance Archer. Next up, Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy in a Mimosa Mayhem match. Now, this is coming from somebody who actually, I like Orange Cassidy, and I was defending this feud. I think the feud should end here. They've had a good feud, it should end here. I kind of wish this was a steel cage match, because this feud was so good, like and serious. Orange Cassidy was doing his comedy shtick, and then Jericho said before their first match, he told Orange, he said, "Listen, I'm a veteran of this game, okay? You try that hands in your pocket shit with me, I'm going to knock you on your ass." And the only time Cassidy did it out of both of their two matches, which they're 1-1, he did it to trick Jericho. That's it. He did it to make Jericho, not for shits and giggles, he did it to literally trick Jericho into trying to go for him. And I'm not saying Orange Cassidy's going to be a world champion. I'm just saying I do see him with that switch, with that light switch that can be serious sometimes. And I think he's a lot more talented than people give him credit for. I don't know how Siri just triggered on my phone, but whatever. I'm reading the card off my phone, by the way, guys. I book and predict Orange Cassidy. I see this feud is more serious, and I feel like this Mimosa Mayhem match is going to be something more comedic. And I kind of wish they didn't go that route, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it won't be comedic, but it's looking like it's going to be, and I'm hoping not. But either way, Orange Cassidy should take this win. I wanted them to have it in a steel cage, but I'm still fine with how it's going. The AEW Women's World Championship is on the line as Hikaru Shida defends against the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. Now, I'd watch the big NWA matches, but I'm actually starting to watch NWA Power from episode 1. I'm going to try to catch up to where they are, because, dude, it's so good. I don't know why I didn't start watching it last October. It's really good, and I'm going to catch up. It's on YouTube. But, yeah, Nick Aldis and all those people, man. Great show. But, Hikaru Shida, I would book Thunder Rosa. I'm predicting Hikaru Shida because it's champion versus champion. And they didn't say Hikaru Shida would win the NWA Women's title, which probably means Hikaru Shida is going to win, and they didn't want her to win both belts. But I would book Thunder Rosa because I feel like while the in-ring professional wrestling for the AEW Women's Division is pretty good, and it's improving, and I've really enjoyed it. Like, we've seen so many great matches, like Nyla Rose versus Riho. Hikaru Shida, like, almost every week on Dynamite is nailing it. Thunder Rosa just had an amazing match this week on Dynamite. Those are just some examples. Chris Statlander. But, the storylines haven't been as interesting. I feel like this is the most I've been intrigued in the AEW Women's World Championship. And I think Thunder Rosa winning this, because, don't get me wrong, they got some great stars there, but they need a big star. And I'm not saying Thunder Rosa is on the level of a Sasha Banks or a Bayley or a Charlotte Flair or a Becky Lynch. But I'm saying if you have her win both championships, in her first ever pay-per-view match, she wins the championship, and she's holding 2 prestigious women's titles above her head. People are going to take her seriously. She is going to look like a big star and a legitimate threat in the AEW Women's Division. And I feel like that is something that they really need. They need to build someone huge. So I would book Thunder Rosa, but I do predict Hikaru Shida. Now the AEW World Tag Team Championship is on the line as Kenny Omega and Adam Page take on FTR. I book and predict FTR to win. Adam Page, Hangman Page, costed the Young Bucks a match. And this past week on Dynamite, FTR said they didn't tell Hangman to do it. And right now, he got kicked out of the Elite. It's looking like he's going to be the heel. But I would reverse this if I was booking this. And I'd have Kenny Omega, have it be revealed that Kenny Omega told Adam Page to do this. Kenny Omega turns heel, brings back that golden, cleaner gimmick that we had in NJPW. Because Omega, he's a great face. Well, he's a decent face, but as a heel, I think he needs this more. And Hangman Page is just too good as a face. This guy is so over with the fans. Have Omega turn heel. Please have Omega turn heel. This will be so fucking good if you have Omega turn heel. So have Omega turn heel. Have FTR win the titles. And we'll see what goes on with the Elite. So I book and predict FTR to win this with a Kenny Omega heel turn. And finally, this match is pretty unpredictable. The AEW World Championship is on the line as Jon Moxley defends against MJF. Moxley's coming up on 200 days, and at first I thought MJF was totally going to win this, but now I'm not so sure, man, because they banned the Paradigm Shift, and AEW's really good at throwing me off, because this reminds me of when we had Cody Rhodes versus Chris Jericho for the AEW World Championship at Full Gear last year. And Cody said he wouldn't challenge for the title again if he lost. I thought, okay, so obviously Cody Rhodes is going to win. Nope, he can't challenge for the title again. So, Moxley can't use the Paradigm Shift. That's going to make people think it's going to be MJF. Oh, this is a tough one. I'd book Jon Moxley just because I'm a Jon Moxley mark. I'm not booking against Jon Moxley unless he's facing one of my favorites of all time. MJF is great. He's one of the best heels in professional wrestling today at 24 years old. But I've legitimately really enjoyed Jon Moxley's title run, and I'd like to see it continue. And I feel like he's one of those dominant forces where you can see him hold the title for a CM Punk type reign, or even a Kazuchika Okada type reign, because he just feels legit. He's a legitimate badass ass kicker. Like, if you walked in a dark alley and you saw someone like Jon Moxley, you probably wouldn't want to fight him. So, I would book Jon Moxley. I'm going to predict Jon Moxley too, to be honest, because at first I thought MJF, but you know what? MJF stood tall on Dynamite, and then Jon Moxley, of course, standing, not being able to use the paradigm shift. You would think that I'd predict MJF because he can't use the paradigm shift, but no. I think Moxley's going to find a way out of this. And he choked out Brody Lee. You know, Taz threw in the towel. He's won matches using moves other than the paradigm shift before, and I think we will see him do it again. So I predict and book Jon Moxley to retain the AEW World Championship. Let me know what you guys think of All Elite Wrestling All Out down in the comments below. Are you guys as hyped for Saturday night as I am? Because I'm extremely hyped. I can't wait to give you guys my opinion. Thank you so much for joining me. This may be the last Ranting on Wrestling. So, thank you so much. Stay tuned to my channel to see the new content that's going to be coming out. And peace out, guys.